it's like winter.
New York, New York.
New York be about the Knicks, huh?
But the best thing about New York City is K-N-I-C-K-S.
Everybody say go New York, go New York, go!
Hey everybody, it's the New York Knicks podcast, episode 515, part of the Lineups Podcast Network at lineups.com, the Big Heads Media Network at bigheadsmedia.com, and Dash Radio. I am Jay. How you doing, Mark?
Good. Are you making up those? Are you going to add more things to this promo?
I told you, my goal is to have the intro be 45 minutes, and then we say the Knicks suck, and then I play the closing song, and we call it a day.
That would actually be a pretty in-depth summary of how the team is. I came across on I think it was Posting and Toasting comment section. Posting and Toasting is a great place to read. I like their comment section a lot. People are commenting.
Their comment section is fun. Yeah.
Yeah. Someone.
I think I lost you already. That's a new record for losing audio. That's it's usually about 45 minutes in.
Hear me?
Now I got you. Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah. But it's usually 45 minutes in. We lasted a minute today. I think I lost you again. So this is going to be this is going to be one of those.
Oh, this is great. This is just goddamn great. I'm going to go up the steps here. Okay. You hear me any better?
So far.
Jay?
Yeah. So far, so good. Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, great. Someone posted the scouting report for a current Knick when they were in college. And I just wanted to read you a couple of the headings from the scouting report.
Okay.
And see how fast you can figure out who this person is.
Okay.
Number one, the first topic was lack of functional athleticism.
Sorry, repeat that?
Lack of functional athleticism.
Okay.
So
right.
Basically, a very athletic person, but not in ways that will be functional or helpful on the basketball court.
Okay.
Number two, decision making. Basically, no real ability to make decisions on offense.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Number three, defensive intensity was pretty lacking.
Mm-hmm.
Any idea who this could be?
Is it Obi Toppin?
No. I'm not trashing him yet.
Okay. We're waiting till next episode for that?
No. It is Kevin Knox.
Ah, okay.
I read this. I'm not going to read the whole thing, but you're reading it. You're like, this is the exact same player from the scouting report from 3 years ago is exactly who he is right now. Nothing has changed.
I was going to say that it was a pretty accurate scouting report.
It could be from last game. It's just like there's nothing he does well on the court. Well, okay. The Knicks have played 2 preseason games. They are 1-1, 500, which would be an amazing season for the Knicks. They beat Detroit, then they lost to Detroit. They look good, they look bad. Lots of things happened. What's your initial thoughts?
A lot of what I thought was what the team was going to look like is kind of what they are looking like. As far as there's almost no outside shooting.
Why don't we do some good and some bad here?
Okay.
Let's do some good. Let's start with some good things.
Okay.
No bad things, no good things. I'm going to start first. RJ Barrett, after initially starting like the beginning of game one, the first first quarter and a half, he looked terrible. He shot some air balls. You were like, oh God. But then he came and he finished strong in that game and had a great second game. Got 20 points in both games. He looked like he had taken a step forward. I mean, obviously, there's just two preseason games, but he's looking pretty good.
Yes, he looks like he actually belongs in the NBA. How about that? The Knicks pick somebody who should be in the NBA.
Well, he didn't get 20 points in the first game, but either way, he looked pretty darn good. His passing was decent. Got some rebounds. He went to the basket with authority. His 3-point shot still a little off. I like what I saw so far from RJ.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think does he really take a step forward this year?
Yeah, I think so.
I think he's going to look a lot more respectable. I think he's going to be the guy that we thought we were drafting.
Yes.
Okay. Positive number 2. Come on, Jay.
Well, you took the easy one. It's
The really easy one.
it's a lot harder after one. The team looks, not that they're good on defense, but they look like they are actually locked in on defense. They look like they're
I would agree.
Yeah.
I would agree completely. The lot more getting it, especially game one, guys getting into the passing lanes. They just look like they were more with it. Like there was one play where Blake Griffin was wide open for a three. Tim called a timeout right away. Everyone like we're not going to stand for you guys just leaving him open. They got back out there. They played good defense again. And even in game two, they came out really flat to begin the game. But eventually the defense caught up and the defense kept them in the game.
Yeah.
So again, they're not lockdown defenders, but like they were looking great. I mean, Detroit's not a great team, but they are looking pretty respectable on defense against them.
Yeah.
Detroit is correct me if I'm wrong, they're a professional NBA team. And the Knicks looking respectable on defense against any professional NBA team is a step forward.
Yes. Detroit might be one of the worst professional NBA teams, but they are a professional NBA team.
So another positive, Mitchell Robinson, which is, I'd say so in game two, he got 5 fouls in this, like he was the goddamn Flash as far as getting fouls. Like before you blinked, he had 5 fouls and you're like, he's done for the game. But I think around the late third quarter, he had his fifth foul. From there on, he played, did not get another foul. So he was able to control his fouls after a while.
Okay.
Something.
All right.
We went from RJ Barrett's going to take a step forward, possible all-star, to, hey, Mitchell Robinson did not foul out.
In 19 minutes.
In 19 minutes.
Good job, Mitch.
What else you got? Obi Toppin from game one. Good. Very athletic. Love the hustle. Love the moves around the paint. He didn't look atrocious on defense, though he got pushed around a little bit.
All right. Want to go to our next bit? Because I'm out.
You really are out to nothing else to add? You want to go to negatives already?
No, I don't.
Why?
Really...
I don't understand. You could see from goddamn space that this team needed a point guard and shooting. There's two of the most important things this team needed, and Rose did not address either one in the offseason.
No, none.
What is it? Is it too early to say I would be fine with Rose being fired?
Maybe a little bit too early, but
is that really overreacting?
A little bit. Let's just say the warning lights are flashing and we're on high alert, but I wouldn't say fire him yet.
You know what pissed me off today? Jay shared with me. There's a guy, Talen Horton-Tucker. You know who that is, Jay? You told me about who he is.
I mean, I know who he is because I told you, but I'm pretty sure most people don't.
He is on the Lakers. He was a second round pick. Lakers actually got him.
Your audio just shit out when you said that.
Oh my god! It says my internet connection is unstable.
Andrew said, "Walk to the east wing of your mansion."
I don't understand. I'm gonna go down the stairs, see if that actually helps now.
All right.
I have no idea. Anyway, can you hear me now?
Yeah, sounds good.
This show is impossible to do without. Like, it's already hard to do as it is, and then because the Knicks make it. I think the Knicks are ruining my audio. So anyway, Talen Horton-Tucker for the Lakers. I know it's a preseason game. He had 33 points. A second round. The Lakers, who are just drowning in riches as far as talent, find some second round guy who got 33 points.
Well, it's about time something worked out for the Lakers. I'm happy for them. It was a long slog, and they needed that. They only upgraded in 4 different positions in the offseason, so good for them.
Their coach, Frank Vogel, said, it's going to make my job difficult for sure, meaning now we got to find a place for this guy on the roster because he looks so good in preseason and might have to find playing time for him.
Yeah, I dropped Kuzma as soon as I saw that guy was playing good. I'm like, there's now like 10 guys ahead of Kuzma.
Dude, when's the last time the Knicks had a guy who you were like, oh, God, we have to find minutes for this guy. He looks so good, and we didn't expect to have to give him minutes.
Speaking of guys who look like they're going to be really good, I just picked up Denny Avdija.
Oh God. Yes. Denny Avdija. He was a guy that the Knicks, there were two players the Knicks should have drafted. Denny Avdija, who the Israeli, or the guy who played in Israel. I don't think he's an actual Israeli. But what did he do, Jay, in his first game?
6 for 6. What did he do?
He's a small forward, 6 for 6. He got like 15 points. We don't need that kind of shooting on our team. And I not to overreact from preseason again, but he made 6 shots.
Was 3 for 3 on threes, 6 for 6 total, 15 points, 4 rebounds, 2 assists, and only 1 turnover.
That sounds kind of solid. And he's supposed to be a good defender, I believe. Wonderful. Tyrese Halliburton, I think, got 15 points also. He looked pretty decent also, got some assists.
If Halliburton's really good, I'm going to be really upset.
But we took Obi. Okay, so Jay watched game 1. He did not watch game 2.
Mm-hmm.
He made me some questions for game 2. He wants to know more about game 2. So he's going to ask me on the show, and I'll tell him more about
Dying to know more about game 2.
By the way, game 2, it's like game 1, I was like, oh, this team looks kind of competitive, maybe. And I am totally down with Tibbs. I think he's a good coach. I'm glad we have a coach who knows what he's doing. I appreciated during game 1, at some point, he wanted to say, what the fuck? And he took off his mask to say, what the fuck? Because he needed the curse without the mask. Which is a great moment. Great moment.
Some words are just better without the mask.
Yeah, he's like, I want to make sure this everyone hears this. Anyway. So anyway, the team, I just saw game 1. I sent a tweet out. I was joking and all, but I was like, before game 1, I said, this team's just going to tank basically and hopefully get the number 1 pick. After watching game 1 of preseason, I was like, maybe we can get the 8th seed. And then Jay said, are you gonna basically delete your tweet? Which maybe I should. I don't. I not to overreact for each one, but game 2 brought me down there, back to earth. But anyway, ask me about game 2, Jay. Tell me.
Okay, so these are based on my box score watching.
Okay, I watched every minute of the game for some reason because I am a masochist.
Okay, were Knox and Smith as bad as the box score looked?
So much worse. So in game 1, the Knicks looked pretty decent, and Detroit decided we will adjust. We will go to a zone defense. We will try to trap the point guard, and we allow the Knicks to shoot from the outside because we know they can't shoot from the outside.
Mm-hmm. That
strategy, by the way, shut the Knicks down. The Knicks, they were leaving Toppin alone from the outside. He just bombed threes that were just terrible. But anyway, Dennis Smith would dribble the ball up. 2 guys would trap him, and he had no idea what to do over and over again. I've never seen a point guard get trapped so many times. He looks like complete garbage.
Cool.
Jay, what are you doing in there? I see the video screen. They're like, what are you doing?
I was looking at the Russian bots posting in the chat.
Okay.
So,
what are the Russian bots saying?
Want to become famous? Buy followers.
Oh. Do you think they can, the Russian bots can get us NBA players? Are you going to buy the followers, Jay?
I'm not.
Okay.
They do count toward my viewer count, and
oh, okay. Well, they've counted the viewer count.
Watch us get affiliated because of Russian bots.
Jay's goal is to get, I guess, affiliated on Twitch, which means what do you have to do? 50 followers?
There's 4 steps. You have to stream 7 times in 30 days, which we did. Stream a total of 8 hours, which we did. Average 3 viewers per stream for a month.
Okay.
Which we did we got to that point last chat, and then 50 followers. So
yeah.
that's the one we're working toward now.
We're on step 4. Okay.
We're on step
Twitch.
4.
We are taking over Twitch.
That's right. If you're listening to the podcast, we do all the shows live now. Twitch.tv/crumpled-bacon. Crumpled with a P, not a B.
Did you post this on Facebook? The link?
I did not.
Twitter?
I did not. I did on Twitter.
Okay, so
I did on Twitter.
Okay, we're trying to keep it a secret.
No, there's a lot. I have to do a lot of things.
I just show up to the show. Yeah, so you want to switch roles?
Also, I can't wait for an hour after the show where you start asking me where the show is.
No, well, I have to be the only one that asked for it. No one else asked for it. Anyway, Dennis Smith looked like complete garbage. I would be fine just this team needs Austin Rivers back so badly just because he might be a competent point guard. They just need 2 competent point guards on the floor. Like Peyton looked fine. He looked like if he was your team's backup point guard, you'd be like, oh, good, he's not bad. Dennis Smith looked like crap. I understand they're going to play him and see if he can get better. When he was off the floor, at one point it was Quickly and Frank. And Frank, for some reason, deferring to the guy that was just drafted because Frank will defer to pretty much anyone. They need another point. And Knox just looks like garbage. I feel like Knox could be I don't know if Knox does anything well on the floor. I think the only way Knox is a useful NBA player is if he becomes a high volume 3-point shooter.
But he's not a good 3-point shooter though.
Well, his shot looks good. They just don't go in enough, which is obviously a problem. If he can get to like 38, 39% from 3, shooting 7 threes a game, that is the only way I see him being a useful NBA player. Otherwise, he should go to Europe right now.
Well, I think he should go to Europe then because that's not happening.
You don't think? Why not? I think the Knicks should encourage him. It's like every time you go to the floor, just keep shooting threes. Just keep shooting them until you start going.
He's not shooting 38, 39% from 3.
You don't think that's possible from him?
No.
I really like his form, even though he shot some air. Like he's just looked. I mean, some guys like RJ worked hard in the offseason, already looks a little bit better. Knox supposedly works really hard. Every time I see him, it's like he just got to the NBA.
His arms look bigger.
Yeah. But by both those guys, the way Ntilikina, sometimes people say the box score does not justify how well Ntilikina played. The box score does not justify how bad Knox and Dan Smith look right now.
Okay, so moving on to Ntilikina, greatest defender of all time. If he's so good, how did he foul out in 12 minutes?
Did Ntilikina foul out?
Ntilikina, as long as 6 fouls are still fouling out in the NBA.
I did not realize he fouled out.
Well, maybe preseason that you get more. I don't know.
No. You're right. I didn't realize Ntilikina had that many fouls. I don't know how I missed that in game 2.
12 minutes fouled out.
I did not. Maybe I was nodding off near the end of the game. I don't know how I missed that he fouled out. He looked fine. I don't know. Ntilikina hasn't looked terrible or anything yet. He just hasn't looked. He looks like Ntilikina. He does a little bit when he's on the court, and that's really it. His shot looks okay. I think one day I can't decide. Maybe he could be an efficient 3-point shooter. I don't know. Do you think he'll ever be an efficient shooter?
No.
Ntilikina is a guy, like, I feel like he could do enough to be like a 15-minute a game guy on a decent team.
He'll just have to learn to play 3 more minutes without fouling out.
I mean, the Knicks drafting has been so goddamn poor the last few years. It's basically RJ and maybe no one else. And maybe I'm overreacting a little bit to Obi Toppin's game 2, but he looked game 2. He could not get any position near the basket.
Okay, so that's my third question. Has your opinion on Toppin changed between game 1 and game 2?
So in game 2, Detroit was just like, first of all, in game 1, he got pushed around a little bit on defense. What's his name? Who's the guy drafted right before KP? From Philly with the big butt. What's his name? I'm looking at the box score now.
A guy with a big butt on.
Remember Phil Jackson? Okafor. Remember Phil? Yeah. So Okafor is like as far as his defense is terrible, but like he's a good offensive player. And basically going for rebounds, he's just bigger than Obi. He basically just shoved Obi aside like he was one of us.
Mm-hmm.
Fine, whatever. You're a rookie, and Okafor is big. By the way, what does Toppin do that Okafor doesn't do? In the sense of Okafor is a pretty good, like, offensive, like, big man who has no real place in the NBA because he can't play defense.
So you're saying that Toppin is Okafor?
No, he doesn't have the skill set Okafor does. I'm just wondering, like...
So you're saying Okafor has no place in the NBA and Toppin's worse?
I don't know. Toppin has a bit of a different skill set. I don't know. It's just like, why did the Knicks draft a big man that can't play defense? I just don't understand that.
That's all they do.
It's just, by the way, Detroit has this guy, Sekou Doumbouya, which you didn't watch the game. The box score, he looked like he was decent, like got 15 points. he looked goddamn awesome out there.
23 points. He was plus 15.
Yeah, I guess he was the youngest guy in the draft last year. And for once, drafting a guy who was the youngest player in the draft actually seems to be working out for a team.
Mm-hmm.
Never the Knicks, but like he looks pretty darn good. They said he didn't play that much last year. It was just a preseason game. The Knicks had no answer for him.
Cool.
He looked pretty awesome. Killian Hayes, who I kind of wanted in the draft also, who went right before Toppin, looked okay on defense, did not look good on offense.
Yeah.
So, but Toppin, he's going to have some growing pains in the Knicks.
All right.
I don't know. It's after game one, I was like, I'm kind of, you know what? Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe he'll be really good. After game two, I'm like, this could be a long season.
I could have told you it's going to be a long season.
It's going to be a long. I don't. He basically the defense on him now. Detroit in the game two was just like, okay, keep him out of the paint and force him to shoot from the outside. And that's what they did, and he did not look very good shooting from the outside. He's got to be able to. The only way he exists in the NBA is if he can hit threes, or else defenses are going to keep him out of the paint because he doesn't have the strength to like get to the paint.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, what's your next question?
Next question. Quickly played 9 minutes. Is he actually going to be in the rotation, or is this one of those, hey, it's preseason, who cares? Let's just put in random players.
I think he's going to be in the rotation. Supposedly he's a really good shooter, which I think on this team that lacks shooting, he will be in the rotation. I think Dennis Smith will drop from the rotation eventually and quickly will get those minutes. I guess Austin Rivers will get minutes too. I think quickly he's going to make his way into the rotation and get 15 to 20 minutes.
If Dennis Smith Jr. can't get minutes on this team, is he out of the NBA?
I mean, isn't most guys that go to the Knicks, when they leave the Knicks, they leave the NBA.
Either that or they have like 20-year careers, like Ariza and Zach Randolph.
Right, but there's so many guys that have been in the Knicks the last few years who just like came to the Knicks and that was their last stop in the NBA.
Yeah. Yeah, a lot. We did that last season. We went over all the players and it was like 50-something players, right?
Yeah, it's an absurd amount of players who've gone to the Knicks and then like that they called it an NBA career after getting to the Knicks. I would say Dennis Smith I see another team giving him a chance because he's very athletic, but I just don't. I see. My guess is with Tibbs, he's been leaning on the vets, so to speak, so far. Even though the Knicks most of the players are pretty young. I think over the course of the season, the guys who are bad are just going to play less, and other guys are going to get a chance.
Mm-hmm.
Like quickly, we'll get a chance at some point. I don't know if Jared Harper or Miles Powell will get a chance, but they may. Iggy, I guess, will get a chance. So, like, why is he? Iggy's in his second year. Why is he on the roster? He's not going to get a chance to play.
What about Michael Kidd-Gilchrist?
They said so. Michael Kidd-Gilchrist, if he makes the team, Omari Spellman would be the most likely guy cut.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't watched as much Spellman, but I don't know. Spellman's younger. Would you keep the younger guy who can shoot? I don't know. It doesn't even matter. Most of what happens to the Knicks doesn't even matter. You know what looked good? Alec Burks looked pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
He looked like he could shoot. He looked pretty solid. I'm totally a fan. I think an early critique of Tibbs will be he'll be leaning on the vets and people will get really annoyed.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like he's ignoring really solid bench players that everyone really wishes would play. Like, oh my God, he didn't play Smith.
Yeah, I mean, it's oh my God, he's playing Smith right now. Nerlens Noel looked decent. He tried for a little while the lineup of Randall and Toppin together. It wasn't as horrific as I thought it'd be, but it's not great.
Mm-hmm.
I gotta say, Randall, he's the best player. I guess maybe RJ's the best player, but like he's one or two in the team. Randall, he's one of the best players in the team. He's so frustrating to watch with his goddamn spin moves, holding the ball too much, dribbling too much. Like stuff he does, like I know he's a talented offensive player, but he's so frustrating to watch.
So that was my last question. Did the spin move get toned down at all? Looking at his turnovers, it looked like it did not. But
I think in game one, he looked a little better at first, and he seemed like he was passing more. And then game two, he just stopped doing that.
So, do you know Fun fact. Maybe too much whiskey was involved during the fantasy draft. I have Randall and Peyton on my team.
Why?
Here's my thoughts. One, I got Peyton for $5, and he was almost top 10 in the league in assists per game last season. He averaged over 7 a game.
Did he really?
Yeah.
Oh,
He was
okay.
he was like 11th in the NBA
Okay.
in assists per game. So I'm not liking that he played 18 minutes and had 2 assists, but it's a preseason game, so I'll not freak out yet.
He has no one to pass to, by the way, besides Randall.
I figured
And RJ.
I figured Randall's going to get like 20 and 10 because like nobody else on this team can score. So I also got him really cheap.
Should there be a stat for like a guy like Peyton where like it should have been an assist?
Yeah.
Like there should have been assists. Like you made the perfect pass. The guy just couldn't hit the shot because
Maybe give you like a half an assist.
Yeah. There should be like some, I don't know, some shadow, like some like hey, I see you only got 2 assists. Did you look at the alternative box score? In the alternative box score, I got 7 assists.
It's true. I mean, guys like Curry passing to Klay Thompson are going to get a lot more assists than Peyton passing to Randall.
Right. Sometimes the assists, sometimes they're really like, they really set the guy up. And sometimes just like you happen to pass the guy before you hit a 3, like big whoop.
Yeah, there was one game last season. I'm like, oh, this guy should have like 30 assists right now, and he has 4 because like everyone was bricking everything, and I was like.
So did you see the highlight LaMelo from his first game? So
No.
LaMelo,
by
his
the
box
way,
score.
LiAngelo got cut already.
What did you say? D'Angelo got cut? Okay.
LiAngelo.
Yeah. LaMelo, I guess I don't know if he had a great first game. The box score didn't look that great, but there was one highlight of one of the passes he made.
Mm-hmm.
It was such an awesome play, like over the back pass, like setting his team. It was one of those things like you should get 2 assists for it because like you made this play like such a perfect play.
Mm-hmm.
He was driving, he like passed it over his back to the guy that's right behind. It was just a great play. LaMelo's probably going to be. He looks like a really good passer. Knicks don't have those guys. What else? Any more questions about the team?
No, we
like
got
why they exist.
We got a lot more to cover. So
okay. So I thought there was more to. I don't know. This seems painful to talk about. Really,
we'll probably cover it with the questions.
Okay. Well, let's. So we did. You want to do the preview, the rankings?
Sure. Let's do that.
Okay. So we went through the both conferences. We want to give our quick preview as far as what we think, how everyone's going to finish.
Mr. C wants to know about the Dennis Smith backcourt.
What do you want to know about the Dennis Smith backcourt besides the fact that it should never exist? It is.
And Joe,
I don't know.
Jay says it's going to be a great Mets year. Also got my Mets tattoo as well.
Mets, yes. You know, Jay, you remember when Dennis Smith first got here after the KP trade?
Yeah.
He didn't look this terrible, right?
Maybe it's a confidence thing, or maybe he just happened to have a couple good games and
I don't think he ever looked this bad.
He looks shot. I mean, I only saw game 1, but he looked like, what are you doing on the court? He
doesn't set the offense up. Even Tibbs commented that he's not doing enough to like get the team going, and they're all like the whole point of the point guard is to get everyone in their position, get them all set up. He does not do a very good job of that. And he's got to be able to, he's a really quick point guard, and he gets stuck on a trap over and over again.
Yeah.
I feel like he's someone that like, maybe it would benefit him to spend the entire year in the G League, really figure himself out. And I know people don't do that in your 4th year. You can't go to the G League, but he would really benefit from that instead of having to go to Europe for a year or 2 and figure his shit out.
Yeah.
Okay. So conference standings, do you want to start at 8th or 1?
Let's start at 1.
Okay. So best team in the East, going first, I picked the Bucks.
Okay. I picked the Heat.
Ooh.
I think the Bucks got a little worse with their bench.
Okay. I figured getting Drew Holiday would make a big difference.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. He's a very good player. Not quite an all-star, but I figured the defense looked better. They'd make it work. They won a ton of games last year. I think they're a very good regular season game, and they're going to keep being a very good regular season team. Number 2, I had the Heat. So Heat's totally reasonable to have the Heat number 2. You had the Bucks too, right?
Yeah.
Jay's like, I didn't actually have the Bucks making the playoffs. The bench really, that just. Okay, number 3. It really got a little harder from here.
It did.
I know Kemba Walker's going to be injured for a little while,
Mm-hmm.
but the Celtics still seem to like they're very well coached. They seem to get it done. I know they lost their big men with the. Anyway, I put the Celtics 3. I think they have enough talent with Tatum and Jalen Rose and Marcus Smart. They'll win games.
I went wild with the 3rd pick and picked the Hawks.
The Hawks.
The Hawks. I feel like they upgraded like crazy. I like their team a lot. I
actually have them in the playoffs also. I think they really upgraded. Like they made a huge upgrade, but I don't know. I don't see Trae Young being. I don't see them being the 3rd seed. I think that's goddamn insane.
It was bold.
Yeah, that is bold though. I like you. I looked like you went bold though. I think last year I had the Heat pretty high, and you were like, "That's crazy."
Yeah.
Okay.
This is a good thing about doing this. Then we could laugh at each other.
Yeah, it's fine. At 4, I have the Raptors.
Raptors.
They lost their big men, but they're also a very well coached team. They're gonna be good still.
All right. I had the Celtics.
Okay.
I
Nothing
mean,
crazy.
Yeah. They have pretty much the same team as last year, minus Hayward. So.
Okay, number 5, I took the Nets. I hate to say it, but they do have Durant. Irving might be crazy, but he's still a very good basketball player.
I have the same.
Okay. Number 6, I have the 76ers.
I had the Raptors, and I had the Sixers at 7.
I think of the Sixers, I mean, they have too much talent not to make the playoffs, but like they're just not going to be that great this year. I feel like.
Yeah, exactly.
I feel like they're slowly fading.
Yeah, they had their moment and didn't capitalize, and that's where they're at.
7, I took the Hawks. Again, major upgrade. Obviously they have Trae. They have a lot of good players. They got Gallo. They brought in Bogdanovich. They got Capella. I think they built a pretty interesting team. I like what they're doing there. This is what you got. You got a young player. You build around him. That it makes sense for them to try to really get better now.
Yeah, agreed.
And they got a bunch of young guys from the last couple of drafts also. Number 8, I took the Wizards.
The Wizards. Okay.
Westbrook, whatever you want to say about him, he's still a pretty decent NBA player.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, Westbrook. They got Bradley Beal. That's a pretty solid backcourt.
Yeah, and like nothing else.
Well, they got what's his name? The 3-point shooter. That's pretty darn good. What's his name? I have to look at the Wizards roster. They gave him Bertans.
Okay, yeah. I'm going with the Pacers.
Okay, did I leave the Pacers out?
Yeah, you did.
I thought it. Yeah, no, I did.
Isn't this the first time where like there's 9 teams in the East? Like it's usually like 4, and then like whoever else sucks a little bit less.
So the Wizards have a bunch of decent players on the team. It's not like that terrible.
It's
like they got the guy Rui Hachimura, who's been decent. They signed Robin Lopez. I'm not saying they're gonna be very good, but I just see between Beal and Westbrook, they're gonna win some games. I think the Pacers are just gonna I don't think Oladipo is gonna be that great this year. They got T.J. Warren. They're gonna be. I don't know. It's a really tough. It wasn't tough. Worst team in the East.
Yeah, we both got the Knicks.
Yes, the namesake of the show.
Yeah.
The West was really tough also.
West was really tough.
After number 1.
Chat room, Jay Player says he's going to get a Knicks tattoo next. Maybe that'll bring luck because it worked for the Mets.
Yeah, no, the Mets, I am so excited. They're going to be awesome. I only pray for the day the Knicks have been sold to Stevie Cohen, and things just start getting better.
And he also said, when the season starts, we should stream live when they play. I was talking about that with Martin. If I can get a game streaming on my computer, we can actually do like a commentary over the game. I think that would be fun.
That'd be pretty cool. I think you could do that. I think I could stream it on that MSG app, right?
Right, and then just share it through Zoom, and then we can have like a
like a virtual
watching.
I could if I could do it on my computer, which I probably can if I have the app, I could probably do it on the computer, and I can just share my screen and we can do it that way. That'd
Okay.
be pretty cool. We got to set that up.
Yeah. So I think we're gonna do that this season.
Okay, so number 1, I had the Lakers, which I assume you had the Lakers.
Yeah.
The embarrassment of riches the Lakers have.
Yeah.
They've actually got. We both agree they've gotten better.
In like every position, it's insane.
Yeah, they look pretty good. Number 2, I had the Nuggets.
Yep. Same here.
Okay.
And then it got tough after that.
No, I thought it got tough after 3. I think 3, I had the Clippers. I think the Clippers you still have Kawhi. You still have
Yep.
Paul George. You still have a pretty good team.
Yep. I had them at 3.
Okay, 4, I had Utah.
Okay.
Where would you have 4?
I had the Warriors.
Okay.
Yeah.
Jay's talking to his girlfriend in the background now.
Yep. So
the Warriors, the question is, I wonder how good they're going to be. I mean, they lost Clay, but they still should be a very good team, right?
I mean, they still got Oubre, they got Wiggins, they got Green,
They got Steph Curry.
they got Curry. I mean, it's a good team. So
Yeah, no. So I had 5. I had Dallas.
okay. I had Dallas at 5 too.
Okay. I mean, I think they had the league MVP on the team. So
Yeah, even if Porzingis gets injured, Doncic is so good.
I think Doncic is going to be league MVP this year. Number 6, I had the Warriors. I agree with you. They're going to be good. I just don't know how good they're going to be.
I had the Jazz. So basically, we just flipped the Jazz and the Warriors.
Okay. Number 7, I had the Grizzlies.
Okay. I had the Grizzlies at 12.
Okay. I think John Morant's going to look even better this year. They're going to have Jaren Jackson. They've got some talent on that team. I think they're going to be better.
They do. It's just like
it's deep.
All 15, like I would say 14 out of the 15 teams in the West are like decent.
It is. You know what was really hard trying to figure out? Who the worst team in the West was.
It was. You know what? I changed my list about 5 or 6 times.
Number 8, I have the Suns.
Okay, I had them in one of my drafts.
Are you how can you not take this? Chris Paul's going to be on the team. They have Devin Booker. They have Ayton. They're going to look pretty good this year.
I didn't like their bench.
Yeah, I know, but who'd you take over them?
I didn't even do my 7 yet.
Oh, who's your 7? Sorry,
My 7 was the Pelicans.
that's not bad either. Obviously, I thought losing Drew Holiday really hurts them.
Yeah.
So I don't see how they got that much better, except for Zion will play more, maybe.
I mean, they got Bledsoe and Ingram. I figured.
But they had those guys. You know what? I say Ingram's gonna look good. I say Zion is just. I question whether Zion's ever gonna play a full season. We'll see.
They got Steven Adams.
Yeah, I mean they got a lot of players. I
don't know. And 8, I had the Trailblazers.
I had trouble. I
Not
wanted to put
because-
Grizzlies in the Sun, so I just cut the Trailblazers. But
I mean,
yeah, that's
it's not because I'm a huge fan of what they've done. It's that they always seem to do better than I think they're going to.
yeah. I'd agree. Well, they have. I mean, like when you have that good of a backcourt, it's hard to keep you out of the playoffs.
Yeah.
Yeah. Who'd you have your worst team?
Thunder.
Oh, okay. So I took the Wolves.
Okay.
I mean, I guess I
had
thought
Wolves,
the Thunder.
I had Wolves at 14.
Yeah, I thought the Thunder will play a little better than people expect. I don't know. It's pretty goddamn hard. You want to go to Facebook questions?
Sure. Andrew says the NBA screwed the Sixers bringing in the Colangelos. And he said, when are you going to get a Steve Cohen tattoo on your ball sack?
It's there. And Andrew, anytime you want to see it, just send me a private message.
And what's up, Jim?
Paul writes, if Randall is our best player, is Noel our second best player?
No, I would say Barrett.
I'd say Barrett could be our best player because he doesn't do as many annoying things as Randall does. But Randall and Barrett are 1, 2. Who's number 3?
Randall Barrett.
The rank, your Knicks rankings. Let's just keep going with the rank. Let's go. Okay, number 3. Who are you gonna say? Let's try to. I'm gonna throw one out to you. Peyton.
He might be.
Okay. Yeah. Number 4. It's real hard, real fast. Number 4. I would say, Burks.
Maybe. I haven't seen enough of Burks to go that bold.
Yeah, but I've seen enough of the other players.
Yeah, I know it's true.
I'm gonna take Austin Rivers 5. You could flip them, but I haven't seen enough of either one, obviously. But I've seen enough of the guys that actually play.
Toppin might be borderline top 5. Oh no, did we do?
No. I see enough of Toppin to know he's not top 5 yet.
Did we do Mitch?
No, and I'm fine keeping him 6th.
Okay.
I would say Mitch being 6th. He fouls too much. He's good. He's still. I just don't know if he's even a starting center yet.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's.
If a quality coach is looking at him and going, he's a backup right now. We hope he becomes a starting center, but he's starting Noel over him. Like, at least like Tibbs came here and goes, RJ is in our starting lineup because he gives us the best chance of winning. I have no question RJ starting. I question whether Mitch is starting.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like him and Noel are pretty close.
I agree. So I would say Noel being number 7. I'll put Mitch at 6, Noel at 7. Who's 8?
Frank?
Yeah.
That's not good, right?
No. 9 being Toppin, I guess.
Yeah.
10.
Bullock?
Knox?
Bullock.
No, Bullock. Yeah, Bullock.
I might even move Bullock up a few spots.
Yeah, I know. Bullock's probably ahead of Toppin.
I put Bullock ahead of Frank.
Yeah, nah, I don't know.
We just got 13 hate letters.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess it doesn't really matter if it's impossible to rank from here. Not impossible. It's just
the rest are tied for trash.
Yeah. Who's the worst player on the roster right now?
Might be Smith.
It could be because he demands minutes. So I've seen at some point Dennis Smith do some good stuff. So there may be some good stuff there. Knox, I don't know what he can do. True. I don't know. Iggy though, Iggy can't even like. I know I haven't seen much of Iggy at all, but like I feel like the coaches have seen enough of him. They're like, we have to even play him.
Take your pick. Take your pick.
Yeah.
Gilchrist. Okay. Like it doesn't matter.
Okay. Question 2. Pat writes, why?
Because we're masochists. That's
okay. Number 3. Peter writes, no reason for us to get excited about this team. Same owner, same result at the bottom of the standings.
Yeah.
And when someone replied, the owner literally has nothing to do with how the team plays. That's like when the players say this is the mecca of basketball. It's such a cliche. I mean, the owner, as much as Dolan sucks, he only sucks like it's not like Dolan is like making them not. It's not like Dolan's constructing the roster. He just hires a guy who does a poor job from there.
Yeah.
He hires the wrong guy, and it goes from just gets worse from.
I mean, like, banning fans left and right does not send a good message.
Does not help at all. But the number one thing Dolan does not do, is Dolan does not draft.
Yeah.
The Knicks bring in guys who just screw this draft up year after year. So, Paul writes, we don't have a point guard. We don't have shooters. How come this doesn't work?
We could just copy and paste that every season.
I think every team is going to use Detroit's model of just going like, let's just go zone. Let's like try to double the ball handler. Let's leave them open from the outside and dare the Knicks to beat us from the outside. And the Knicks are going to be like, we didn't know this would be an issue. We didn't know other teams would expect us to make shots.
So, since when did shooting become a thing in the NBA?
I was listening somewhere. I read this. Someone said in one of the comments section, she's like, the Knicks should just draft only players that can shoot. Just find only guys that can shoot from here on. Just that one basic skill. Look for guys that can shoot. The team will just look better if guys can shoot the basketball.
Yeah, let's try and get more than one instead of just like, hey, this is our one shooter. Let's get a couple.
I mean, in theory, IQ is supposed to be able to shoot. There you go. You got your one. I know. I guess Austin Rivers can shoot. Burks can shoot.
And Bullock
can shoot. It's just the Knicks have so many guys they have to give minutes to that can't shoot. Eugene writes, I won't get excited until we get rid of our asshole owner. Mm-hmm. And Paul writes, he posts from the posting and toasting link where it says, looks like the Pistons realize we can't shoot. I don't know. I mean, I guess like I'm watching this team also watching Detroit and going like Detroit is not a very good team. I can't imagine watching this team against a competent team.
Yeah, I know that's the problem. After looking at Detroit's roster, and I'm like, oh, this is like maybe the second worst team in the NBA, and it's still close.
Detroit also, I'm watching Detroit being like, can they put Blake Griffin out of his misery and just put him on a better team? Like, just let him be the third or fourth guy on the Clippers or the Lakers, or just like he's got to be like, all those years we were dunking, me and DeAndre taking like the lob city, and now it's come to this. I have to pretend I care in Detroit.
I mean, as soon as his contract's up, he's going to be ring chasing.
Oh my god! By the way, people were saying how the Knicks were going to be lob city because they were like Mitch, great rim runner.
Who are these people?
I don't know. Toppin, great rim runner. Toppin, he's got ups. He'll be dunking like no other. I think he dunked once in the first 2 games. There were lobs. They were just like all the lobs in game 1 were off target. I guess no, they don't have anyone that could throw a lob. And game 2, there was no dunking. Yeah, it's gonna be a lot. Any emails, Jay?
Yeah, we got one. This email is from.
By the way, Jay said before the show, he's like earlier today, he's like, should we just skip this week? Why are we going to talk about preseason? And as we do the show, I think you're right. Why you're right. We should have done the Knicks show. I want to talk about it until I don't.
We could have done our comedy show, The Brink of Sanity, but here we are talking about.
Would have had a better night. You're right. You're absolutely right.
Jim said a lob requires a pass, and they have no point guards who can pass, which is extremely accurate.
I mean, the more I watch Peyton, the more I'm like, I guess this is as good as it gets.
Yep. Jorge writes, who would have thought coaching was this important? So that was sent before game 2.
Yeah, I mean, Tibbs looks. I think him alone adds a few wins this season. Though I don't know if it's a few wins to get them to 20 wins versus like 30 wins.
So Real Knicks fan is saying, why can't we just throw everyone in the G League? Why can't the Knicks just play in the G League? It's really not fair that they have to play against all these really good teams.
Wouldn't it be great if the Knicks was like, we're putting the entire roster in the G League. We're going to win the G League title, and then we're going to play in the WNBA. We're going to play in Europe. We're just going to be a traveling show here.
Then we're going to play against Jay and Zog Sports.
Wait, yeah, we made March Madness. The Knicks are playing in March Madness. The Knicks are now at college.
Imagine they sent all their players to the G League and then didn't win the championship.
They're like, well, we made the playoffs in the WNBA. Yeah, but you were first round. We made the playoffs. That's all that really matters. It was the WNBA. Knicks are like dunking on like a wheelchair league, and they're like, yeah, I mean, we're not that good at these guys. They're really good shooters in the wheelchairs.
Maybe the whole team could join like the 2K league.
Yeah, I mean, isn't the New York 2K team pretty good?
Yeah, I think they won last year.
Okay, well, that's something that no one cares about.
Something.
Yeah, how much time do you have left this show, Jay?
Real Knicks fan is saying, can we win one game and then shut the league down with COVID so they finish the season undefeated?
I think that's a plan. That's definitely. I mean, the U.S. is heading towards that anyway.
Yeah,
like they're everywhere. Every week they talk about things shutting down very soon. So one game, call it a COVID season. The Knicks are undefeated, and they have to we get the title. By we flip like pick. You know what they should do? If like they'll be like, well, 15 teams are 1-0. We'll put all 15 teams in a hat. We use a frozen envelope system. The Knicks name will be picked, and we'll be given the title.
Mm-hmm.
And then we'll all have a parade down Broadway, and we'll infect everyone. We'll all be dead.
We have 5 minutes left.
Okay, so where does it get positive from here, Jay? I've been very negative. I was very positive after game 1. We should only do shows after wins. But where does it get better from here? What's going to be? RJ Barrett is going to look pretty good, right? Yeah,
we're going to see Barrett develop. Hopefully we'll see Toppin develop. Maybe
I heard this. I saw this asked on Twitter. If after the season the Knicks are terrible, but Barrett has developed into a borderline all-star, is this a successful season? If one player develops.
No, you'd need a couple. Because even if you have one, like what is that? Like,
well, then you pair him with a top 5 pick, hopefully, and build from there.
You need a lot of players to be good. they need Mitch, Frank, Toppin. Like, you need 3 or 4 guys to look like they're should be in the NBA.
Well, that's just not going to happen, Jay. So, like, can you be happy with one guy being good?
No.
Okay. The it's a frustrating team, huh? I guess at some point, I mean, if Knox and Smith don't get better, eventually they just stop playing, right?
I would think, yeah.
And then maybe Miles Powell plays, or Iggy plays, or IQ plays, and maybe they look decent.
I would think that Smith would lose his minutes before Knox, just because Smith is at the end of his contract. So it's like,
Yeah,
if he's bad, you're just
point.
done. Knox, you're like, well, we got you one more year. Maybe we should just keep throwing minutes at you to see if you get better.
Well, the theory was Dan Smith, they're hoping he plays a little bit, gets a little better so they could trade him. Then again, if he gets a little better, you'd keep him. But he's either way, it's not gonna work out. I mean, in fairness to Tibbs and the coaching staff, they've only been here for half an hour. So maybe if they have more time to work with these players, they'll get better. We'll see some real development throughout the season, because there wasn't really many opportunities to develop these guys over the offseason. So
Real Knicks fan said Knox should get minutes in the G League. I think the question should be, could Knox get minutes in the G League?
I really think these guys need time in the G League. I think Knox should spend a good amount of time in the G League. I think the jump from college to the NBA was too great of a jump for him. He needed more time in college. And I think it's basically getting to the NBA just stopped his development, because the players are just too much. It's just too good here. So if he went to the G League, he'd spend some time against competition that's not quite as good, and then he could develop from there.
And thank you, Jim. He said he's a longtime fan, and we're hysterical and accurate.
Thank you.
Longtime fans are literally the only reason we're doing the show.
Jay hates the Knicks. Every time we have to do the show, he gets angry at me.
I do. I'm like snapping at Mark for no reason. I feel bad. He's like, "You want to do a show?" I'm just like, "Oh, fuck."
Jay was like, "I didn't watch game 2." I'm like, "Do we have to be mean to me?" He's like, "I didn't watch." I'm like, "Ask me about it. I watched them. I'm a moron. I watched the game. Okay, just ask me about it."
Just the idea of this team makes me furious sometimes.
It's just been bad for too long. You can live with 1 or 2 bad seasons. You also if you look at the other bad teams in the NBA, you look at Phoenix, you're like, they've been bad for a while, but now it's going the other direction. Atlanta, we have Trae Young, we have some guys to build around, where it's going in the other direction. It's getting better again.
Mm-hmm.
Knicks are just flatlining.
Yeah,
it's like the patient is dead, and we're just pretending they're alive.
The Knicks flatten the curve.
They flatten the curve. If the Knicks if we could do this to the virus. New Zealand said they're opening back up because there's no cases.
Mm-hmm.
That's
cool.
Yeah.
So the New York Knicks, NY Knicks podcast at gmail.com. That is our email. And obviously NY Knicks podcast on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Patreon. The New York Knicks podcast.com is our website. You can get shirts like the one I'm wearing right now.
Yeah.
And we are doing all our shows live. So twitch.tv/crumpledbacon, crumpled with a P. And every time Mark takes me off a ledge, we'll do a show. But we also, on this channel, we're going to be doing our comedy show, The Brink of Sanity. And we're going to be doing some gaming too. So,
we are slowly building something. We don't know what we're really building, but it keeps us entertained, and hopefully there's a couple people out there who are entertained as well.
Yeah, so the gaming thing will probably be fun, because it's like I've been gaming all my life, and Mark hasn't gamed in 20 years, so it'll be like Mark doesn't know what he's doing type of thing. It'll be fun.
Yeah. The more I've been playing video games lately, the more I don't miss them at all. But we'll see how this goes.
The shirts are $18, and that's free shipping. And if you throw in an extra $5, you could get a Brink of Sanity shirt.
I got PS Now. There's 700 games on there. My son cannot find one game he likes.
Have you tried any of the ones I suggested, like Ratchet and Clank?
No, I probably didn't actually even. No, I didn't. I should try some of the games you suggest.
And we have
he only wants to play Fortnite. So
we have a Donald Trump Happen fan in the.
Oh, really?
That's
awesome.
That's our secret Trump page.
That's our secret Trump page. I don't think I even told my wife about the Trump page.
It's a parody page, so we're not like.
No, we've just been like, is the show over or is it?
I'm gonna play the goodbye song, but
why you play the goodbye song and we'll keep talking in the room.
Yeah, sounds good. All right, thanks for listening, everybody. We'll be back soon.
My love. Goodbye, everybody. It's all over. Goodbye. It's time to go. This is the end.